Is your New Year's resolution to clear out your attic, or maybe you are saving up to buy something special for a loved one this Christmas? Well, we're here with someone that's going to give us a rundown, Jeremy Buss of Premier Gold and Silver Coin, that is, who's going to be talking about antiquing. Now, we were just talking before the segment started about how there's a little bit of a stigma around antiquing because people are afraid that they might just be bringing in junk, but we want to clear the air. That's okay. You see that a lot, right?
Yeah, it is fine because people often don't know what they have. They don't understand what they have, but they want to know. And it can feel intimidating. You can feel like you're not going to be treated fairly or treated decently, even if you just want to ask some questions. But there's nothing wrong with that. We actually like to take people through a little bit of an educational process when they come in to see us. We like to talk to them about what they have, explain why it's worth what it is, what the market bears currently, and then what they can expect even maybe in the future with it. Is it a good time for them to even look into really selling it? Should they hold on to it? There's a whole process that we'd like to go through. So there's a comfort level for people.
So let's sort of break it down with some of the items that you're showing us right now to give a sense of what people might have in the attic and might actually be worth money. So you have everything ranging from collectible cards to antique jewelry and coins. So let's give a rundown of what's over here. These are just some items that you brought from the store.
Well, this is a sterling silver pitcher, and this is actually quite an extraordinary representation of what it is. But this is all hand hammered. It's beautiful. And something like this, silver is valuable, of course, just on its own, right? But this is something that aesthetically is also pleasing. So something like this could yield somebody anywhere from $1,000 up to $1,700, depending on what the maker is and who it is.
So then what about, antique money? I know there's a lot of people that have huge coin collections. So how do they start to appraise those?
Yeah, that's a good question. And with money, it's really comes down to a lot of different factors. From 1964 and before, for half dollars, quarters, and dimes in the United States, they are all made with 90% silver. So at the very minimum, those have a silver value to them. But within those years and within those coins, there's some things that are actually more valuable because they're collectible. They had low mintages, and they're very desirable to people who collect them. For example, this particular coin over here was a low mint year that's worth about $1,500. But at the very least, they'll have something in there that has some kind of value to it, whether it's the silver or some kind of a collectible value. So what we like to do is take and break everything down, kind of show them and separate everything, and help them to see what they have. And we actually use references to even help them to understand why they have what they have is worth what it is.
And then moving from one collectible item to another sort of collectible segment, it's all about sports memorabilia. So I can imagine that you get a lot of antique cards, antique hats like you have right here. So break it down the same way you broke down the coins. What makes sports memorabilia so expensive?
Well, it's really the desirability of the person and the rarity. So, for example, we have this Michael Jordan card, which is very common, not worth a tremendous amount, but still desirable because it's Michael Jordan. Then you have something like the Cy Young card, which is actually pre-World War I. Truly rare. They didn't make a lot of them, they didn't print a lot of them, and even in this condition, this particular card is worth about $400 to $500.
Because it has that historical value.
Exactly, and there is so few.
So then on the flip side, there are people out there that are still shopping for great gifts for people. So not only do you sort of buy back antiques, but what is it like purchasing an antique?
Well, purchasing an antique, you want to make sure you're dealing with somebody who's reputable. A lot of people are really desirous of good certifications now. They want to understand that what they're getting is authentic, it's real, and it has value. And even then, we have to be very cautious when you're shopping for antiques. Be very careful with the internet. Talk to somebody who you can trust, somebody who you can build a relationship with. Get some advice from an expert to really help you to determine, is this the right thing for me? Is it something that I want to keep long term? Is it the right thing for somebody else who I love that I want to get them something special?
And of course, if you have any questions, always going to someone that you can speak to, like Jeremy over here at Premier Gold and Silver Coin. Now give us a rundown of Premier Gold and Silver Coin, just so we kind of know what's happening over there.
Well, we're a little small shop. We're family owned and operated. We're independent. And we really have an environment where we allow people to come in, interact with us, and help them to understand what they can do with what they have, why it's valuable, maybe why it's not valuable, maybe it was valuable at one time but it's not anymore, and so forth. And it's really it's a nice process that we go through to help people feel comfortable with what they have, because it's really important that people can feel awful or they can feel that they are not going to be treated well, but we really don't want that to be the case with what we do. And it's a nice environment, family, friendly, smiles, and a lot of laughs.
All right, well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Matt. Appreciate it.
And out there, if you have some trash you're throwing away, maybe find out if it's trash before you actually send it over to the dump.